TV with me, Isma. On April 22nd, 2025, a deadly terrorist attack near the tourist hub of Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir claimed the lives of 26 civilians, marking one of the deadliest peacetime assaults in recent years in the region. The attack was claimed by the Resistance Front or TRF, a proxy group linked to Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba. In the aftermath, India and Pakistan, both nuclear-armed neighbors with a history of conflict, have found themselves on the brink of renewed hostility. The incident has triggered sharp diplomatic, military and geopolitical reactions, including strong responses from China and Pakistan, firm retaliatory actions by India and mounting global concerns over a potential escalation. This report examines the unfolding crisis, analyzes key positions of regional powers and assesses the broader implications of the rising tensions. Here's a special report from Foresights TV. The brutal terrorist attack near Pahalgam targeted a group of Indian tourists and immediately sent shockwaves across the nation. With 26 fatalities, the attack drew widespread condemnation and calls for justice. The Indian government swiftly identified the involvement of the Resistance Front, widely recognizing as a front for Lashkar-e-Taiba, which has long been accused of enjoying safe havens and support within Pakistan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi responded with strong language promising an unrelenting crackdown on terrorism and the forces enabling it. He assured the public that those responsible, including conspirators, would face punishment beyond their imagination. The Indian government promptly undertook a series of punitive diplomatic and strategic measures aimed directly at Islamabad. India announced the suspension of the IWT, a historic agreement signed by 1960. While India has hinted at reviewing the treaty in the past, this marks the first concrete step towards a possible cessation of water flow to Pakistan. Islamabad reacted strongly, warning that this move could be considered as an act of war. India closed the integrated checkpost at Atari, effectively shutting down the only land trade route between the two countries. The SAARC visa exemption scheme for Pakistani nationals are suspended, and a 40-hour deadline was given for Pakistani citizens to exit Indian territory. India and Pakistan mutually reduced diplomatic staff in their High Commission, further straining communication channels. Indian leaders including PM Modi and Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar launched an international diplomatic offensive, briefing world leaders including US President Donald Trump, UK PM Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron. The global community largely condemned the attack and expressed solidarity with India. In a phone conversation with Pakistani Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi reaffirmed Beijing's support for Pakistan's sovereignty and security, calling China an all-weather strategic partner of Pakistan. Wang emphasized the need for restraint by both India and Pakistan and called for an impartial investigation into the Pahalgam attack. China's response aligns with long-standing strategic relationship with Pakistan and reflects Beijing's apprehension over instability in South Asia. However, the call for an impartial investigation implicitly questions India's version of events and hints at China's attempt to maintain a geopolitical balance in the region, while subtly countering Indian diplomatic narratives. Pakistan's leadership, while officially condemning terrorism, rejected India's accusation and labelled the Indian actions as provocative and unilateral. Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar reiterated Pakistan's commitment to managing the situation maturely, but also emphasized imposition to India's baseless propaganda. The most alarming rhetoric came from Pakistan's Defence Minister Khwaja Asif, who openly warned that India's steps could result in an all-out war. He stated that Pakistan's military was prepared for an eventuality and claimed without evidence that India has staged the attack to trigger regional instability. In a controversial TV interview, Asif admitted Pakistan's history of supporting militant proxies during the Cold War and the War on Terror, claiming the nation had suffered consequences for doing the dirty work of the West. These comments, while reflective, added fuel to the fire by appearing to deflect currently accusations with historic grievances. The international community, while supportive of India's right to defend itself against terrorism, is deeply worried about the specter of conflict between the two nuclear-armed states. The rhetoric from both sides, especially the Pakistani Defense Minister, mention of potential nuclear confrontation has triggered alarm bells in diplomatic circles. World leaders have urged restraint and have called for dialogue. Though the tone of the Indian leadership suggests that this time, New Delhi may not settle for business as usual post-attack responses. The Indian government appears determined to exact a cost for what it perceives as persistent cross-border terrorism, potentially pushing the region into a volatile phase. The Pahalgam terror attack has not only reignited old hostilities between India and Pakistan, but also dragged major powers like China into the diplomatic crossfire. While India has taken a hardline stance aimed at punishing Pakistan both symbolically and practically, Islamabad has responded with defiance and inflammatory rhetoric, creating a dangerous impasse. China's alignment with Pakistan and its call for an impartial probe underscores the complexity of region's geopolitical landscape. At the heart of this confrontation lies the unresolved issue of cross-border terrorism, which continues to haunt Indo-Pak relations. The situation remains precarious. Both nations are equipped with nuclear arsenals, and further escalation, especially in the absence of effective diplomatic engagement, could prove catastrophic not just for South Asia but for global peace. While India seeks justice and security and Pakistan defends its geopolitical narrative, the need for the hour is for responsible statesmanship and multilateral diplomatic intervention to de-escalate tensions before the crisis spirals out of control. That's all for today. Thanks for watching 4 Sides TV with me, Isma.